Now, you'd be quite right in assuming that a shadowy cartel of gentlemen collectors might be some of the most evil men on the planet. But even we have our limits, and I did promise you a free bike giveaway. Right, promised you a free bike challenge. You're not getting an RS4. Obviously that would be an insult to my viewers. You are getting this bike. There you go, there's a little tease. Can you see through the privacy glass what looks like some Shimano cantilevers there, which proves that this thing is legit retro. More will be revealed. So it's finally here inside my workshop, underneath this ghostly shroud to be exact. And before I do the reveal, let's just talk about the giveaway. This bike was donated to me by a viewer called Leon, an absolute gentleman who did not want a penny for it. He just wanted it to go to an appreciative home. And so I thought I'd pass on that kindness. Dan from DB's Retro MTB workshop then drove it in an extremely fuel inefficient car the length of the country. So he's also to be credited for some extreme generosity. And finally, when it made its way to the north of England, it got as far as me. So the simple challenge to you, the viewers, is just to get at me in the comments, as you so often do, and I'm always appreciative of that, and just let me know if you've any ideas for an appropriate home for this bike. I haven't really had any thoughts of my own other than the usual sort of charities or people who have otherwise got no access to transport, or simply people that really want to get into cycling and don't have the money. There's lots of different options, but I'm happy to throw it open and make it a bit of a challenge. And the best suggestion will get the bike. Now, before I even blow the dust and cobwebs off it, let's give you a few clues as to what we're working with. So clue number one, for a bike from the mid-90s, which I know this thing is clearly incredibly low mileage. It's barely been used. The obvious sign, as I said in the Muddy Fox video, is there's no chain rash on the chainstays here. Also, if you listen to the action of this free hub, that is a much nicer and cleaner sounding free hub action than pretty much most of mine from the same vintage. So underneath all this dust and the cobwebs, there is an almost unmarked, beautiful metallic red finish. Next thing I suppose you need to know, moving rapidly to the next clue, is it is a 19-inch frame. And what that means is it's a nice, healthy, medium size, which, to be honest, would suit most adults. I'm 6'3", and even I could just about get on it with a long enough seat post. Third clue, and you've probably seen already the giveaway, the word specialised there. Yes, it is a Specialized. Obviously, I believe was the world's biggest bike manufacturer at the time, and you'll know as well that I'm a fan. I've got quite a few. Safety checked there by the dealer. It's still got all the dealer stickers on it. Designed in California and handmade in Taiwan, which of course was and still is probably the world's capital for mass producing bikes. So this is a quality piece of kit. More evidence that it's barely been used. It's still got the original dealer sticker on. Bicycle connection. They've managed to spell both bicycle and connection incorrectly. I guess this is from the days before Google or spell checkers. Other things that I can tell you without revealing too much about the bike, there are plenty of cobwebs and dust and stuff on it, but once I've cleaned that off, I'm definitely confident that the bike is going to be pretty much immaculate underneath, which is why I can with complete confidence give this away to somebody, because it should pass all of my safety checks. Obviously these tan wall tyres won't last forever, but they're not just going to blow on you because they're pretty thick. Another surefire sign that it's got super low mileage is, look, the original Shimano brake blocks there, which of course would have been replaced by aftermarket if they'd been worn, but they just aren't. Another really tasty bit of kit here is an original Specialized Pro Long saddle. This is the standard version with the chrome ollie rails, but the titanium and leather version should have been spec'd on my S-Works, which you'll have seen in other videos, and has long since disappeared. These Pro Long saddles aren't the easiest to find, and having an original is a great thing. This is the one that should have come with the bike. Also, which is quite curious, is this early piece of SRAM technology. Now, the grip shift was SRAM's first ever invention, the first thing that brought SRAM to
mountain bike market before, of course, it became the globally dominant group set manufacturer that it is today. This isn't, of course, SRAM's first generation grip shift. This is probably 3 years after that, and it's a 7-speed. But nevertheless, to have this early piece of SRAM is a very cool thing to have. Apart from that bit of SRAM, the entire group set is Shimano, fairly basic and obviously very dusty, but underneath this dust, this extremely low mileage and very reliable Shimano Altus drivetrain will work good as new once I finish with it. Also, these Weinmann American alloy rims, certainly a cut above what you get on basic bikes of the day. So all in all, once I've cleaned and polished this thing, I'm going to be very excited to reveal this to you in full, and then I'm going to look forward to hearing from you on what we're going to do with it next.
So in case you hadn't already sussed, it's a hard rock from 1997. And to be honest, it's in even better condition than I'd ever expected. It really is stunning. Obviously it's got a few tiny spots that show its age, which I believe every collectible bike should have anyway. But I defy anybody to find a better condition 97 hard rock. This is in better nick than pretty much all of my bikes. So I'm off to give this thing a safety check and a shakedown test. And while I'm doing that, please get at me with your suggestions and I'll see you soon.